What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers had a abysmal second quarter, right? Lakers had a stretch where they got outscored by like 34 points total in like a basic quarter and a half, and then had a stretch where they got outscored 26-6. Not winning very many games that way, right? Minnesota basically blew the game open and never looked back. But Lakers have had their issues and struggles with quarters all season, right? I mean, for years now. Usually it's the third quarter, but you can almost always count on the Lakers having a quarter that is just an issue and becomes a problem, and the Lakers just get ran through, and or Lakers had a convincing, commanding lead, and then all of a sudden that lead is gone, right? How many times we've seen the Lakers up 20, and all of a sudden it's a tie game at half or whatever, or that the opposing team's down 3 going into the fourth quarter or something like that, right? Because the Lakers just love to do it. Here's the thing: during the regular season, kind of get away with it. During the regular season, you're still probably winning more games than not. Come playoff time, you can't afford it. You just can't. The Lakers aren't good enough to take games or sequences or quarters or any of it off, right? Like, Lakers have said this. Do I believe the Lakers can win the championship? Absolutely. There is a version and path of this where the Lakers are hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. I have said this very repeatedly, but I've also said it's going to be a very tough task and a very tough road, and I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on the Lakers running through. I didn't think the Lakers were going to go 16-0 in the playoffs. I do think the Lakers can win 16 games in the playoffs, but I also think there's as many arguments for some of these other teams as there are Lakers, if not arguably more for some of these other teams. But we have seen this Laker team be so good and perform so well that when Lakers are playing Laker basketball and they're playing to the level in which we know that they can play, they can absolutely win the championship. They are one of, if not the best teams in the league. Problem is doing that for 48 minutes. The Lakers cannot afford to play 47 minutes, 46 minutes, 47 minutes and 59 seconds. You have to play 48 minutes in the playoffs because these teams can beat you otherwise. Lakers taking possessions and having stretches and whatnot off, you're not winning very many of these games. I didn't like the Minnesota matchup. I made that very clear in the beginning. I did take the Lakers to beat Minnesota. I did break down why and how I thought the Lakers would beat Minnesota. Talked about that I'm very confident the Lakers beat Minnesota. I said if the Lakers win the 2 home games, they beat them in 5. But I think that they beat them in 6, which means I had Minnesota winning 2 games. But I also, in those same breakdown and evaluations, talk about how Minnesota can beat the Lakers and my concerns about them, particularly the interior size and defense. And the Lakers overcompensated for that, right? They were so worried about the interior size that they just basically gave up uncontested threes all game. And Minnesota, to their credit, tip your cap to them, hit 21 out of 42 threes, which I think even if you let them do that again, they're probably not hitting 21 out of 42 threes. And I also don't think Jaden McDaniels is going to be your best player again and give you 25. He might not score 25 again the entire playoffs. Even if Minnesota advances to the NBA Finals, right? He might not score 25 points again the rest of the playoffs, let alone again against the Lakers. But I digress. Point is that I really worried about Minnesota's physicality and their size, right? But I thought that the Lakers have the advantages, and the Lakers' advantages would be harder for Minnesota to overcome, particularly LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic, more so than Minnesota. I just think our advantages and the things that we're good at are going to be more daunting and harder for Minnesota to overcome than Minnesota's issues and advantages for the Lakers, which is why I thought the Lakers could beat Minnesota. But when the Lakers aren't doing those things, and those things aren't happening, and Luka's the only one that shows up, and LeBron is pedestrian, and Austin Reeves is terrible, right? Like, what ends up happening? The performance that you just saw, right? Lakers don't have the luxury of some of these other teams. You look at a team like the Boston Celtics. They lost game 1, 2020 Lakers, right? they won or they lost game one in pretty much every game, every series, right? Except for, I think, the NBA Finals. But just like Boston last year and the Lakers in 2020, they were just better than everybody, right? I know people like to, oh, the bubble, this, that. Lakers were literally the best team all season by a large margin, right? So Lakers could turn it on. Lakers could flip that switch. Lakers could afford to lose a game and have a feel it out game. And it was fine, right? Well, this Lakers team can't. This Lakers team doesn't get that luxury. This Lakers team isn't good enough to just, hey, we're just gonna take this L. It's fine. We'll win the next 4. I'm not worried about it, right? Like we don't have that luxury, right? Boston, they could lose game 1, and it wasn't a big deal. Why? Because you knew that they were just going to win the next 4 because they were just better than everybody. Lakers, same thing. They lost game 1. It's fine. Why? Because you knew the Lakers were just going to win the next 4. When you're that good, you can do that. And it's okay. And you can survive it. But Lakers aren't that good. And they can't survive that. And they need to make sure. Again, I don't think that it's Chicken Little, the sky's falling. I don't think the Lakers are cooked. I still think the Lakers win this series. I'm not worried yet. Lakers lose game 2. We might be having a very different conversation here, right? This conversation might go a very different route. But until that happens, which, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't, I trust the Lakers are going to win game 2. I trust the Lakers are going to figure some stuff out. They're going to make some adjustments. They'll make some changes. I don't think that they're going to overhelp like they did in game 1. I don't think LeBron is going to be as bad as he was in game 1. I don't think Reeves is going to be as bad as he was in game 1. I think there's a lot of factors that are going to go into this that are in the Lakers' favor. Right? I also don't think that half the guys on Minnesota that balled out in game 1 are going to do the same thing 3 more times the rest of the way. Right? So I trust the Lakers to win this series. I trust the Lakers to get this done. However, Lakers cannot just count on that. Again, Lakers are not good enough. You cannot be lackluster on the effort. You cannot be lackluster on your performance, on your energy, your hustle. Right? You cannot be lackluster on the offensive side of things because you can't stop anybody. You're not good enough defensively, particularly in that starting 5. Luka, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Jackson Hayes is not really looked at as like, man, that is a great defensive unit. No. Your best defensive player in that starting 5 is who? LeBron James. Right? Like, that's not good. It's not a good thing. Right? So, and yes, you have great defensive guys and Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt and even Gabe Vincent can get after it defensively and all that stuff. And, you saw some success in that Minnesota game and all that, right? With those 3 on the court and all that. Okay, fine. That's great. But again, you cannot have Jared Vanderbilt essentially be your second best player. Right? Jared Vanderbilt is going to be incredibly impactful and is going to be one of the biggest X factors, if not the biggest X factor for the Lakers. Jared Vanderbilt is incredibly important for this Lakers team, right? But you need everybody to step up. You need everybody to pick it up. You need all of these players to handle their end of the deal. Lakers are not good enough to just, half-ass it all series. Right? They're going to end up making, even if they get through Minnesota, right? Then I do think Houston or Golden State is an easier matchup. I do think the Lakers match up just much better against both of those teams, and I do think they'd have an easier matchup. But the thing is even if the Lakers continue to perform the way that they did and then manage to squeeze out this series, right? Say they squeeze out this series. Eventually that's going to catch up to you. Whether it's the second round or the conference finals or the NBA finals. Because eventually you're going to run into a team that's just, they are better than you. And even if you do play perfect basketball, right, you could still lose to them. And then if you're going to half-ass it and kind of not be the best version of yourself for 48 minutes, they're going to make you pay, they're going to punish you, and you're going to go home sooner than you anticipated. Right? And it's going to be a very long series in which you're going to be very disappointed and the Lakers are going to be lackluster. The Lakers just don't have that luxury this year. Maybe next year, right? When the Lakers make some changes and revamp this roster. Because again, I think this team is very different in the offseason. Even if the Lakers win the championship this year, I think this team is incredibly different than what they are right now. But until that happens, right, if you want to win this year and you want to get this done, you just cannot afford, you do not have the luxury of not playing 48 minutes of basketball and being the best version of yourself on a nightly basis. You need to be able to match teams' physicality. You need to hit shots. You need to defend. You need to rebound. You need to hustle. You need to do the things necessary to win. And the Lakers just didn't do those things in game one, and it came and it bit them in the behind. So Lakers need and must be better. I trust them to be better, but got to handle business. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.